Now here, I will share 10 DLC choices I'd personally like to see, even if they are popular choices. Let's start it off with an honorable mention. If you aren't new here, you know Isaac will be my number one, which is anticlimactic, so I'm going to preclude him from having a number. He will get this honorable mention spot, though, and I'll try to clear up some misconceptions I've seen Isaac haters knowingly spreading, such as he's a sword user and would play like Ike, or a more sword-based Robin. The best way to describe the gameplay of Golden Sun is a much more puzzle-based Legend of Zelda with an RPG battle system. Unlike The Legend of Zelda, where often items would no longer be used, in Golden Sun it is rare to learn a synergy you won't reuse at least periodically. And every game has several devious and clever puzzles, usually for optional items or Jin. Golden Sun follows a party of travelers with psychic powers called Synergy. Isaac and his best friend Garrett lived a peaceful life, but everything changed when the Mars clan attacked, looking for the elemental stars, which they would use to light the 4 elemental lighthouses and release alchemy onto the world through a phenomenon called the Golden Sun. They initially failed to find the stars, but many of Isaac's friends and neighbors died in the attack. Isaac, Garrett, and Jenna, who lost her brother in the attack, quickly began training their abilities with the old scholar Kraden. Years later, the Mars clan returns, this time prepared to get the stars. Isaac and his friends chase after them, but are forced to collect and turn over the stars when Felix, Jenna's dead brother, and Alex, a creepy Mercury adept, are with the Mars clan. The Mars clan also kidnaps Jenna and Kraden though. Isaac and Garrett immediately leave and rescue a young Jupiter adept named Ivan, and meet Alex's sister Mia. Having an adept of each element, Isaac's party is ready to overcome any obstacle and try to prevent the lighthouses from being lit. Before the 2 Mars leaders fall to Isaac's hand, they kidnap a Jupiter adept named Sheba. After their deaths, Felix forms his own party with Sheba and his sister. Alex wants nothing to do with Felix anymore and abandons them in the name of splitting up. But Felix soon meets another Mercury adept named Piers, who also has a boat and will allow them to sail in his immortal Lemurian. Felix and Isaac meet again at the Jupiter Lighthouse and learn the truth about the lighthouses and alchemy. United, they head for the last unlit lighthouse on a quest to prevent the destruction of their world. So yeah, go play the first 2 games, or watch an LP and find out what happens at the last lighthouse. I'd play the game, but your decision. Anyway, Isaac is a Venus adept who controls the earth and nature. He can move or shake the earth with his mind, or throw clouds of dirt and stone. He can even grow brambles with his mind. If it is earth, he can move it and manipulate it. And he can equip a sword, or an axe, or a mace, and unleash the spirit inside the weapon to attack his enemies. I'm hoping for K. Rool 2. It's criminal. He and the Kremlings have been absent. At this point, I'd be happy to see the Kremlings return as reluctant allies. But K. Rool not being in Smash Brothers while Bowser Jr., Rosalina, and Dark Pit secure a spot? It's not okay. I may be about to say something controversial, but I like K. Rool over Bowser. I would rather lose Bowser forever than lose K. Rool. Bowser may be the enemy of the most popular video game character. K. Rool just has that appeal to me. Maybe because I was a Donkey Kong Country nerd. That's actually it, because I'd say the Donkey Kong Country games are better platformers than Mario. As long as K. Rool draws from his bag of dirty tricks, he'd be a welcome fighter. Plus, Donkey Kong needs a franchise villain. Oh no, a clone of Diddy! She will totally attack with her tail, shoot peanuts, and use a jetpack. She'll be a more carbon copy clone than Dark Pit. Oh hi Isaac haters who seem to knowingly spread misinformation. You hate Dixie too? Actually, I'd lie if I didn't say I was afraid Sakurai would clone Diddy and call it a day, like with Ganondorf. Dixie really shouldn't be a clone though. The two played so much differently. Dixie swung her ponytail around, picked things up, and held them above her head, rocked out with a guitar and chewed bubblegum. Not really alike at all. Everyone has a different character they want from Konami. Some want Snakeback to fight the feelings of having lost something. Others want Castlevania, and even more are facepalming about the fact Bomberman is technically Konami and has to compete against other Konami characters. Bomberman originated as a Hudson character, a company Nintendo had very good relations with. Bomberman is a third-party character who deserves a spot, no question. He is as iconic and timeless as Mario. Castlevania fans will respond that Bomberman can lay bombs and, well, lay bombs. Clearly they never played the games from the N64 on. Bomberman Hero would be the best place to start for a moveset as the most platformer Bomberman game. Bomberman can kick and throw bombs in that game. Other games allow him to inflate bombs and give him critters called Kara bombs to help. He can often use different elemental bombs, which would only stand to make his moveset more diverse. Bomberman even has a punching ability that allows him to reflect bombs. There would be no difficulty making a full moveset if you looked at all of his appearances. A lot of his standard moves could involve throwing bombs of different elements. For example, his down smash could have him throw a bomb to either side of him that immediately detonates and gives him some breathing room. He's technically a new character, but he feels so old. He represents the NES era of gaming. One character and you have DuckTales, Mega Man, Castlevania, and other games represented. It's this old soul they have breathed into him. That makes me support his inclusion despite him being a new third party. Time will tell if Nintendo feels the same. Can I say something controversial again? I think Little Mac is a poor Punch-Out representative. Just because he's the normal in a circus of absurdity and clowns. Every character is an exaggeration of something except Little Mac, who's the everyman. It just doesn't seem enough to throw Little Mac in alone. It'd feel complete if one of the unplayable boxers joined him though. I've always been drawn to vodka, soda, Popinski. When I think of Punch-Out, it is the drunken Russian I always think of. I think that may be my line of ridiculousness being crossed. If you did no reading, a lot of the other fighters could almost seem normal. Vodka? He drinks and drinks while boxing. I have no idea what his or most of the other boxers' moves could be, and honestly this is purely for representation. Obviously Soda would have to have moves involving his beverage, and maybe he could even stagger when he moves. Spoilers guys, go play this game. Because it's really getting silly, I still feel obligated to say spoilers. Especially since Smash Bros. Spoils the Mechon Fiora plot twist. That isn't even close to one of the real twists worthy of not being spoiled. Heck, when Fiora died, I looked for that spoiler so I could know if I need to reset for items and whether I wanted to play the game anymore. Yeah, if she didn't return, which I had an intuition she would, I would have quit. Anyway, enough discussing this not even a real spoiler. Maybe Xenoblade doesn't really need another representative, at least from the same game. But I like Shulk and Friends, and Fiora is just so significant to the game. Both is Shulk's true love, and actually this is kind of a real spoiler. She has a Monado parallel to Shulk, and she can fire lasers. Sounds good to me. Make her and put her in. And then, huge spoilers ahead! I'm going to actually make use of the spoiler warning. Then, after Fiora, give us costume DLC for Shulk, based on Zanza, in his glowy onesie, since he basically is Shulk's soul, since Shulk was never alive or a person until Shulk created his own soul and gave himself life. Anyway, I want Zanza's Shulk costumes, and also Klaus, Zanza's human form. Totally suggested originally as a joke, while technically Wii Remote Safety Guy was initially suggested. But that's kind of stupid when you could just aggregate all of the safety images. Sakurai went for a silly character with the Wii Fit trainer, and it really didn't end up as silly, just strange and odd really. This, I don't think you could make not silly, and it'd be a way more effective way of promoting safe gaming than the safety screens they make load before everything. Or maybe people would cosplay him, and all the things would be broken instead. Either way, it'd be a funny but unlikely joke character. Suppose we get Dixie. We will be one character short of the original 4. Time may have forgotten it, but why not have the original 4? Give him an alternate costume where he wears DK Jr.'s onesie, and I would be so happy. Plus, he could play like a more faithful DK, which is barely like DK at all, unless you count Jungle Beat.
You about ready for some chocolate cake? No! Now you done it. You won't like Doc when he's angry. Ah!
We have the student. What about the master? I'm actually suggesting Doc Lewis is that crazy character you love when you see them, because they make no sense, and it's beautiful. Play down his boxing skills, and have him use the training equipment instead. Yes, including riding his bicycle. Maybe he could be permanently on his bicycle and fight in an even more unique way. For chocolate. Hey, I'm greedy. I want Isaac, and then I want another Golden Sun character. So many of the characters would be perfect, including Alex. But I think a female adept could be more fitting, like say Jenna, the sister of Felix and wife of Isaac who can control fire, and is a way better character than Garrett. Fire adepts in Golden Sun like Jenna can create and manipulate fire, explosions, heat. All of that, and she'd fit right next to Isaac. Episode question: what characters are you hoping for most besides your #1 favorite? Be sure to check out the 10 alternate choices to popular suggestions if you missed it. Also, 10 Nintendo spin-offs.